welcome to She Has Plants. In today's video, we're gonna go through my entire plant collection, but not only that, the channel has turned 1. A lot of these plants were purchased over the span of the last year. I have 2 casualties, so you'll see that in the video, but I'm gonna show you the footage from when I first got the plant versus last month. Rearranged this weekend, so there'll be a new video next week on the rearrangement and the restyling, because with fall coming, there are going to be the balcony plants coming back in. I think it's time for me to restart my Oxalis triangularis. Here we are for another plant tour. Oh my goodness, where are we gonna start? For when I've started keeping my Croton, Kalanchoe, Mammillaria spinosissima, and the Brazilianensis opuntia are outside. I finally gave my Mammillaria that chop. I've had it outside for a while now. Then we have my Burgundy Rubber Elastica. I love how much this has grown, and I've taken it outside sometimes, you know, just for fun. I just absolutely love this plant. I really do. I enjoy it so much. This is the burrito tail or donkey tail. I can't remember. I know it's the one that has the shorter nubs as opposed to the pointed ones. I have to show you my burro's tail. And this is the Kalanchoe close-up. She's doing real well. Blossfeldiana. And the Crotons are just like living their best life. The Oxalis came in so fast after I chopped it all down completely, and I'm so glad I did because it was getting way too leggy. Now the leaves are nice and short. It's seriously filling in so much. I don't know if I'm gonna have to repot this. Opuntia Brazilianensis is thriving outdoors. It's growing lots of like new little petals. It's still nice and corky. Echeveria in a little mini pot in a teacup. Obviously is thriving and living its best life outside, getting so much sun. I just put it in there so it doesn't blow away. All the cuttings from when I chopped my Mammillaria spinosissima. And yes, some Oxalis got into my mix by accident. I think there's a spider living in there actually. I don't know if I can blast that away. Here are all these guys after the cut. The sun is about to set, so I guess it's a good thing that I crammed all this in. But what I wanted to say, something I really want to do is get all the Mammillaria spinosissima in one pot. There's one that I've been seeing at Winners, and then there are a few others that I'm kind of eyeing, and we'll just see what I end up putting it in. This is my Calathea. Yeah, I forget what it's called now, but they changed its name, so it's not Calathea lancifolia, it's rattlesnake, but then there's like a botanical name that I don't remember. Calathea is doing fine, whatever. I don't really have anything significant to say about that plant. Then we have the asparagus fern, which is just cascading over here, very whimsical. And in a container of water, I have my Pilia, which wanted to die on me. It was going really pale. Now it's starting to become more green. The anthurium was expanding on a new leaf when I left on vacation. I don't know what happened. This started when I came back. I guess, oh, this one is really starting to expand as well. Pilia, I have it in moss now instead of water. I'm continuing on with the asparagus fern, which is still doing great. Anthurium crystallinum magnificum hybrid. I got this around my birthday. This is actually the last plant that I bought because I decided to calm down when I hit around the 50 mark, just because obviously it's difficult to maintain so many plants and still have a life, like because I know some people were like, oh wow, you're really good for a beginner. Yeah, because I'm neurotic and I was just using plants to self-soothe after a pretty traumatic life event. But then I also got a lot of joy out of it. Plants They demand a lot of care and attention. Oh my god, can we just go back and appreciate how beautiful this leaf is? I love it. I moved my philodendron pink princess over here and I am trying to air layer it. That's why you see some saran wrap around the stem. Yeah, you know, this plant is kind of ugly. It really is. I put it on a moss pole. I don't have it completely filled up with moss right now because it's not growing up that high yet. It was looking really ugly before, so I just got over it and decided to cut it. Another bit of cuttings from my pink princess because I want to give some of that away. Philodendron Brazil potted up with my marble queen. And look at this. This is so curious. Funny enough, the pothos actually picked up some of the coloration of the Brazil, but then other parts are variegated more white, and then other parts are variegated more of a lime color, which I find interesting. Anyways, if I ever wanted to separate them again, I could, but I just like the idea of consolidating plants so that I have more space, honestly. My Thanksgiving cactus with the fuchsia blooms is still doing well. There is still that one intruder oxalis that's always there. Regular philodendron and a prop philodendron, just like the regular trailing one. Here we have Paraíso Verde. I chopped it up under this cloche and under the interrogation light. We'll see what happens. The light, by the way, is from Sansi, and I have a coupon code if you'd like in the description box and on screen. They kindly sent me that. Look at what has happened, but now it is outgrowing the cloche. It's variegated now. I can't believe it. But yeah, I actually can. It's due to the heat of being under the cloche, so it gets the humidity it wants and the heat it wants. The problem is, I don't have a cloche big enough to keep this thing alive all winter, and it's definitely gonna revert back green. Can you believe these are the props from my Crimson Princess? These are the reverted leaves that propped up. I have them propped up in sphagnum moss, and it's doing quite well. There's some holes on the bottom of that plastic cup. I love this plant. It's really starting to come in. It was a little bit prettier before, but I rewrapped it, so it's still adjusting and it is outgrowing this spot. But I am so happy with this glow up, you guys. These two plants right here are both my Hoya Crimson Princess. And the Crimson Princess reverted cuttings are now like a full-fledged plant almost. And I just have it in a cup of moss, really. Next we have the philodendron micans. This croaked on me, so I put it in sphagnum moss and in a couple of nursery pots inside a tupper. But now that there are quite a few leaves, I just keep an eye on it, make sure the sphagnum moss is wet. I consolidated it. I'm just touching it to check if it's wet enough. And I have absolutely no regrets because it's looking so good. And basically I just used prop boxes and got it to just revive itself. Then we have the Cuban oregano. I actually chopped this down yesterday. I could take this nub off. Took some cuttings. I love the way this plant smells, and I just realized that it looks really cute in this elevated planter. And I enjoy the texture, the look, and the smells. I decided to restart the Cuban oregano. I didn't like the look of it anymore, so this is actually a container of water, like sort of a little mason jar that fits in the pot, just to kind of make it seem like, you know, like it's actually planted in soil, but it's not. For many weeks, I had this Croniana Super Silver split up in different Tupperwares because for the second time I got dry root rot. And yeah, I guess I'm a masochist, right? Because I still have the plant. Yep. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Right now I have it in this wicking system, but instead of planting it directly in, I found a little piece of clear Tupper. It's not even clear Tupper. I think it was a labneh container. See, it was like a grocery container. I stuck a hole and a string through the bottom and then put it in this planter, and we'll just see how it goes. Oh my gosh, you guys, like I think I get well enough to put it into soil, but then it croaks on me, so then I take cuttings and I put it in moss, and then it goes well when it's covered and in a cloche, but then I try to acclimate it back to soil, and I think I'm on my like 3rd round, and I don't know, I might throw in the towel if I don't get this going again, but for now they're in these cups. These are just kept on my west windowsill. Syngonium Pink Perfection, maybe, I'm not sure. It's definitely some kind of an arrowhead plant. I never had to repropagate this or anything. I don't know. It looks alright. I like this pot combination. I think it's really cute. Everything on the shelf is very matchy-matchy since I rearranged. This is a revived Cebu Blue. Another plant that is revived, Epipremnum Cebu Blue. Shiveriana. She's doing it so cute. Look at how long she is. She's growing. Cortesii was in a Tupperware on an west-facing window, but now I have it here on the north-facing in a cloche instead of the Tupper. We'll see. I'm just trying to acclimate it, and I guess sometimes I put it on the grow light shelf. Cortesii did amazing being in sort of a cloche situation, and so that's why it looks so plentiful like that. This beauty right here, I'm really happy about this. It has come in quite nicely. Cressy Petiolata, also a Hoya. It has had a major glow up since the beginning of summer. Like, it's actually growing like a weed. I've just been keeping it in moss. I just keep the moss damp. I fertilize it, obviously. I'm having such a good time with Hoya right now, except for when they die on me. Hoya retusa, I put it on a bigger ring. I took my Hoya retusa off of its trellis, and I'm just kind of letting it trail down for now. I think eventually I will wrap it up again because it's just more contained, but I like how visually dramatic it is, and it seems like it really, sorry this is backlit, but it seems like it really likes being loose. It also responds well to being trellised, but I think it's growing more now that it's loose. I wouldn't mind keeping it trellised over the winter. Acacia brancifolia, it's going well. This usually has a bunch of serrated bits on the leaf, and it's starting to develop them again. I just didn't throw out the corm when all the leaves popped off. It's trying to do things. Quickly revived. All I did was kept the moss damp and gave it sunlight and grow light. Before it was under the grow light, and now it's just on the windowsill. I have to be so careful though right now because a few times we've had heat waves that have really obliterated my plants, and when I was away for a few days, the plants, they suffered. Baby rubber, some cuttings of my linearis because I need to do some more propping back into the mother plant, and Lodicea discolor. Oh, finally some progress on is that the baby rubber plant, Optifolia? I always forget what it's called, but I'll put the name on the screen. My Hoya linearis. I recently topped up this linearis with some cuttings that I had earlier rooted in water, and so far so good. I have had good luck with this. This is my 2nd round, and I think it's good for this pot size for now. Maybe if I feel like filling it up even more, I'll have to put it in a wider pot. A terrestrial orchid that is super common and a little bit pricey, but not crazy pricey anymore. Hoya hushkeliana. This is where the philodendron micans lived before, but now I'm keeping these in here to try to revive them. She's still alive and going. I cut off what was not doing well and then ended up putting it in moss again because the roots kind of went crazy on me in the spring. But since it's happy the way that it is, if it ain't broke, don't fix. It right? We've got another Christmas cactus. There is a white bloom popping off here, which is nice. Nice surprise. And it's doing well. Begonia Fanny Moser, I just consolidated a cutting into that, so I'm excited to see how it grows. Hopefully you get a good grasp of what it looks like there. Do I want to tell you about this? This is really bad. String of hearts. It's longer than it looks. I just have it looped around the top on the crown right now. I am just so sad and disappointed about this plant because it was doing so well before. So well. So many of my plants are doing incredibly, and this one is doing incredibly poor. I suspect that it dried out completely or dried out too far for me to be able to revive it. Ex Hoya macrophylla, aka Hoya latifolia, revived from a cutting. Well, I kicked off really well putting that in soil, and then the soil dried out, and you guessed it, the heat wave took it out. Oh well. Excuse my dresser, I'm doing a shoe declutter on my other channel, but here is the Monstera deliciosa. It is just magnificent. I was shocked yesterday when I saw this. I swear sometimes I just look away from this plant, and then when I look back at it, before I know it, there's a whole other freaking cigar forming. Oh, yeah, anyway, she's a beast. She is just growing large. But first I have this little station with my Pilocarpa Ripsalis. It used to be on the window, but I think that the sun is getting a bit strong for it now, so I like just having her hang off the table. I have sort of turned this into my Hoya station. Oh, before I forget, here's my cute Monstera constellation. It's got a nice little new leaf. Unfortunately, I had thrips when I purchased it, and it was not like a full-blown infestation at first, or I don't know, I didn't see it. Eventually the leaves started getting these brown spots, but like literally months after I had purchased it, so I don't even understand why or how. So I cut it down and I washed the roots and sprayed it down, and now it is growing a new leaf, and I really don't mind if it means that I'm protecting all of my other plants from possibly getting thrips, which, spoiler alert, another one did get thrips. I will chop the plant. The Hoya compacta Hindu rope. Do you remember the height or the length of this compacta before? I don't, but I think it's growing. I'm fairly confident that it is growing. I had trouble with this in the beginning, but now look at it. It is doing so well. It loves this window. It's just one strand though. These are the 4 horsewomen. We have Mathilde, Crimson Queen, Pubic Calyx Splash. Pubic Calyx Splash is the one that's growing the tallest. But yeah, I'm really happy with this window setup. I'm not compromising any vertical space here. I purchased one, and then my boyfriend purchased one. I decided to combine them. Guys, you tell me what this is, okay? What's that? There's more than one. Here's another one. It doesn't look like a leaf. She is a bloomin'. Well, not yet, but she does have peduncles. She's got peduncles all over the place. You see that? All over. Such gorgeous variegation down here. I'm so happy. However, as you can see, she does have mealies. My Crimson Queen passed some mealies around. It's got like these sort of little aerial roots that look a little bit like mealies, but with mealies on Hoyas, I noticed that they usually like to stay at the petiole for whatever reason. They are very phallic looking. Like, they start out looking like peen. This is my Hoya Crimson Queen mealybug. Mealybug magnet right now. I occasionally have to spray some spots. Look at that beautiful white leaf. I absolutely love her. She is a stunner. We have my regular Pubic Calyx, which I just have on the side here. It is growing super tall. Normally it lives on the windowsill. She got thrips, all right? And I cut off all the damaged leaves, and then I ended up putting it on a round trellis instead of the bamboo trellis that it was on before, because obviously it's got bald spots now. I manually went through all the leaves and used tape to try to remove whatever was there, and it's on probation. And then, oh my goodness, the Wayeti eye. I remember that last year, the Wayeti eye really enjoyed being in this bedroom, so I took it off of the other windowsill and I brought it here, and much to my surprise, the planter, the nursery planter, fit on this little holder perfectly. So, oh, I love it. It's beautiful. Hoya Wayeti eye had a malfunction. Okay, we had several heat waves and I needed to take cuttings because all of the roots, they fried up on me. And that is just something that very unfortunately happened, but it is what it is. Here's this view of the plants so that you can see they're on a north-facing windowsill. The windows get the best view of the plants and I just see the back sides. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know. Better hit that like button and subscribe so that you can see me next week. All right, see you then.